Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Amelia Durbin, joined by Stefan Rapazzo, and we're here at the European Youth Ultimate Championships in Ghent. Tonight, good morning. What am I saying? We've got Italy versus Sweden in the semi-final in the women's division. Both teams taking a pretty good win yesterday in their pre-semi, so hoping to get into that all-important final match this morning. Steph, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. I'm very excited about this game. The Swedes have been sensational throughout the tournament, or very good throughout the tournament, and have got better as they've gone. A big win yesterday over Austria in their semifinal to find their way in. They have had it tough against Italy and France, the two teams that have been the front runners in the division. But they're hoping that after their dominance yesterday, they got their zone going, that they might be able to throw something up against the Southern European powerhouse and make it stick. So pressure on the Swedes here. The Italians should be in the driver's seat based on the way the tournament's gone. But we all know it's not played on paper or by past results.
Absolutely not. And we know Italy are a fiery team. Saw them yesterday putting out some big plays, specifically the cowboy hat of our current biggest fan, Benzi.
Yeah, Benzi.
Carrying the team to a pretty good win yesterday, putting all her work out onto the field. On first point we see here, I think we've got Sweden coming out on defense, so a clean offensive hold is what Italy are going to be looking for. Worth just noting that Italy and Sweden have already played each other once in this tournament, with Italy taking the win 13-5. So Italy probably feeling confident, Sweden maybe a little bit nervous. They were slightly slower to warm up this morning. Italy were kind of chomping at the bit from the get-go, listening to music, getting hyped, their coach getting loud. Sweden, a quieter approach, but here we are, first pull going up.
Very representative of their two cultures as well, the fiery and the calm.
Yes. Right, pull is up and we are underway. Benzi straight on the disc, and we see that Swedish zone. To the far sideline. Scuba fake from Rampazzo. Back to Benzi. Benzi and Rampazzo moving up the field nicely. Little tiki-taka. Rampazzo, beautiful swing to Galetta. Up to Lorino now. Back to Rampazzo. Back to Benzi. Rampazzo and Benzi again, really powerful in this middle space, just breaking through that zone. Guetta is free, 62 shirt on this far sideline, but Benzi's confident. And she finds her. Lorino working hard here, getting the disc downfield, being a great continuation. Rampazzo down to Benzi. Continuation was there on that far sideline, but declined. Little pop through the middle from Benzi there. Fabri, back to Benzi. Into the red zone now. Sticking with the zone are the Swedes. Rampazzo to Benzi. Little dish potentially for the goal, and there it is. Italy, first point hold.
Yeah, Benzi with some great finds there. I like the way she held onto the disc actually in that zone. A couple backhand fakes throughout, make the front of the Swedish zone adjust and find new throwing lanes and holes through the front. They were patient, but actively patient. They were making the zone adjust and then taking the easier throws. Never really looked flustered throughout that first approach.
No, definitely not.
Swedish zone, you mentioned that they stayed in it there. They weren't tested to transition too much yesterday.
No.
They were really able to stay in it. I think that could be a difference today against a much stronger side than the Austrians in these Italians. That sure, bring that zone. It worked well for you yesterday, but you may have to find a few moments to transition out quickly and see if you can get into a match defense in some shorter fields.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. If this Italy team continued to show that level of confidence moving around a zone, Sweden coaches might want to be suggesting a change, just to pressure them and put them into a different position, make them work different skills. But we see Italy coming out on defense for our second point of this women's semi. Festa with the pull. Low, not too much hang time on that, but nearly drop pull there, but just missed it. Good snag from Emma Hagby there. And the pull is being called down.
I don't think that was the case. I think you said nearly missed pull, and it was casually approached, but I think it was caught cleanly on the full.
I think they went to catch it, didn't catch it, let it hit, and then pick the disc up. No contact was made. We're having an ask to see the replay from behind us. Felix says no. We could raise a hand for perspective here, but we would like to remain unbiased until asked.
Yeah, a interesting and late decision, like 2 throws later, to say, wait, I think that was down. Obviously in a position charging down the field. Any further away, a little bit further away.
Our footage also doesn't exist. I think the camera had not quite turned to the point before. So not able to show it back, but quite a long discussion here. But I think the call has been retracted, which means the disc will stay in the hands of Emma Hagby. Over to that far sideline. Italy showing their zone now. Potentially a big over-the-top shot, and it's gone. Arensmeyer with the disc. Over to Emma Hagby. Italy pushing the Swedes backwards. I think they've made negative ground. Maybe need a little bit more forward momentum. Following the throw, Sweden opting to swing the disc round the back and pop the disc behind them. But there's the middle spot found. Wilma Westman now striking upfield but unable to receive it. Arensmeyer. Io flick straight to the Italian defender, and the D-line is now pushing downfield. We've got Amati on the disc. Downfield back to Amati, beautiful line strike, and she puts the disc up, and there's the break. Second point break for Italian side.
Yeah, good to get in there. Capello showing her athleticism, quick into the back corner there for the goal. The Italian zone is a faster moving zone, I think a faster reacting zone.
Yeah.
And Sweden yesterday, they went 7-0 before Austria scored. Their O-line didn't get much of a test in yesterday's game.
No.
They definitely didn't get much of a test against a zone, and definitely didn't get a test against a zone like this.
Yeah.
So they are going to have to work it out on the fly. They're going to have to work it out as quick as possible. As
just had the Italian coach walk over and ask if we had VAR, but unfortunately for that pull we didn't. But we saw what we saw. We thought it was up. Italian again coming out on the D-line. So Sweden have got their hands raised, ready to go. Pull goes up. Flat calm this morning. If you look in the trees behind us, not a lick of wind. So hopefully we'll get some big shots coming out of the Swedish team. We saw some great deep strikes from them yesterday. Sometimes that's the best way to get round a zone. But Italy coming out in this zone again. Italy coach stood right in front of me, so can't quite see, so I'll go to our screen. Sweden over the top, utilising that I just said there's no wind. Emma Hagby with the disc. A driving force of this O-line goes over the top again. McLean back. Bodin with the disc now. Going down the sideline. Great pickup from Emma Hagby there. Looking infield. Back into the middle. Emma working super hard here, pushing the disc through, going backwards. Looking a bit stuck. But Treppendahl receives it. Astrid with the disc now. Goes downfield, but just a drop, an unfortunate drip from Freda Salen. Benzie with the disc, hoping to bang it. Oh, she's threatening, but it doesn't go. Now looking a bit lost, but well helped. Up the line, and there's the shot going up, but great defensive pressure.
Yeah, good finish, good closing speed there to shut that down. It looked like it was going to go again. From my angle, I didn't even see the defender. I saw the open receiver. And then to have that run through by Lillikist was sensational. The Swedes get their second chance to hold here.
Completely agree. Sweden dishing off to that far sideline. 8 spins. Treppendahl, but finds a receiver. Back to Treppendahl. Over to the middle of the disc, middle of the pitch. Back to Bodin. Treppendahl slashes across but doesn't receive it. Lofgren with the disc. Pointing downfield, looking for an option. Doesn't happen. Small travel called. Swinging to this near sideline. Sweden struggling to find momentum against this zone, just kind of doom swinging.
Yeah, that one was very telegraphed and easy for the Italian defender to step in front.
Yeah, Benzie with the disc, swings it open. Big open side throw, and there's another Italian break. Sweden just struggling to get going here. I think that they could definitely capitalise more on a throw and go movement following their pass in that zone. You see the offenders kind of going around the back, and that forces the disc backwards. And it seems like a good reset, but all it is doing is playing into what the zone want you to do, which is to go backwards, 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 and doom swing over and over again.
Doom swing. I've never heard doom swing.
I've never heard doom
like
swing.
No.
Doom swinging is where you're just laterally going.
I get it.
You get it.
I understand it immediately. It's a good bit of terminology that I've not heard. But it is the principles we were talking about last night. You don't necessarily, whatever your deployment is, whatever your offensive strategy is, always changes. Zone O is different than any O. But throw open side, go open side is something that you always get going. It's tougher to find open. In the end, there it was a match defense rather than a zone defense. But get the disc moving, keep the disc moving. There's a lot of little principles that should always be employed to prevent what happened there to be overly static and just waiting to isolate. Well, especially isolating when you're near a sideline, coming out of a horizontal, you really only have a chance to look at one player, or turn and face your mark and really just force the breakout. Yeah,
completely agree. And especially in this wind, I'd like to see the Swedes kind of push it deep a little bit more, open up space in front of the disc for the handlers to do the work. And with the no wind, that huck option is always there. Being able to break a zone from a big over the top, or even just if you catch the deep in the zone sleeping, lead that receiver to the break side with a big backhand. Would like to see more of that. So hopefully the Sweden coaches have fed that back, and we'll see a stronger, more confident zone offense now. Italy are 3-0 up though, so they're feeling confident. Like we said, they played earlier on in this tournament with Italy taking the win 13-5. So maybe this is just a sign that Italy are a dominant team. Sweden not quite at that level yet, but we saw Sweden be dominant yesterday. So we know that we know they can do it.
How about the weather today? Similar to yesterday morning?
Not at all. Yesterday was grey, a little bit rainy, slippy floor, slippy disc. Today is glorious. I've had to put sun cream on. Disc is in. Sweden on the march, swinging open side, a near turnover, but really well kept by Nova Eriksson. Over the top, that's what we want to see. To the number 10, Lugan. Back to Lugan. This is much more active from Sweden. This is what we want to see. They're being confident with their throws. There's a little pop over the top to Vilma Westman. Static now. There's the goal. What a shot there from Lisa Arensminer. Can't quite see who received that goal. wanting them to turn around so I can see their number. I think it looked like Bodin.
I think it is the Lufgren.
Ah, the no number.
I believe that's why we're having trouble spotting the number.
Doesn't exist.
Yes. And a phenomenal shot by Arensmeier there. No wonder she's at the top of the team list for assists. Look at her assessing her options here. 2 Italian defenders in that zone lane and spots the seam and fires through it with a short lateral step.
Thread the needle.
That is really threading the needle. Great shot of that and watching that develop.
Yeah.
That is just throwing prowess. Like, yes, the team's doing some good things. The cutter, Lufgren was in a good spot, but Arensmeier just showing why she is the assist leader and one of the best in this tournament at throwing lasers.
Absolutely. See the Swedish D-line coming out now. They're going to be wanting to get those breaks back. The Swedish sideline have finally arrived in their yellow shirts. I see a blue and yellow afro and some flags coming out in competition with the Italian side on the far side in the shade. They're going to be a little bit quiet. And here we see the Swedes coming out in that zone. Benzi just so confident here. They're going to need to do something about her. They're stopping her reset pass. She's going over the top. But Ghiata comfortably back to Benzi in that cowboy hat. Ever iconic. Tick-attacker up the sideline, just being able to take it. There's a big gap in the zone looking for that IO shot over the top, but Benzi says, no, I'll just have it back here. Thank you. Bit stuck, potentially, but over the top. Risky biscuit, but received. Stopper. We said yesterday we can't stop her. And there's the goal. Really confident from Italy. You see them using a completely different strategy, which to me is why I think Sweden maybe need to stop that zone. We saw Sweden in the first couple of points being able to use the disc towards the commentary booth. And here they went, well, if you're not going to let us do that, we can confidently walk it up the line.
Yeah, I think they may not need to stop it, but they need to get out of it for a little bit and vary themselves with it. They do need to get themselves back on the field. And you see the difference in styles there. The Italians patient and calm with every single throw, happy to blade over the top, big OIs from sideline to sideline before they use the sideline. Benzi is going to be a problem for Sweden. They're going to have to find a solution for her, and I don't think that the zone is a solution when you've got a standout player like that who's a zone eater. She can just chomp her way through that.
One thing they could potentially look to do is doing a zone with an assassin on Benzi and just shut her down and give one person the workhorse of just being like, you just match mark.
Yeah, that is a great idea, actually. That would be a very good plan against the Italian zone right now with a one-player dominance.
Yeah, and you can see in the stats board for Benzi and the Italian team that she is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And fair play, she's doing it well. But now we see the Swedes coming out on offense. If they slot this in, we probably would be saying we're trading at the moment. The break train has been stopped. But Italy coming out in their own zone now, quite a front heavy. See 3 players at the front with a mid in the number 4 shot of Amati, stopping those middle passes, and then Novelli working with Amati. Swinging. Looking a bit stuck.
It's a great Italian zone. It's moving very quickly. The 3 at the back have their heads on swivels and are reacting to seemingly be playing match defense in the backfield. Yeah,
they're definitely almost keeping aside, but marking the player in that space. It's a very intelligent zone.
Now, the thing that has to happen here is there needs to be a lot more movement in those backfield players.
Oh, great pickup there from Ghiata. Tick-attacker down the sideline. There's the throw. Festa. This space might be called there. Italy gesturing for an open side, and there it is. Amati. High over the top. Well received. And there's Benzi. Oh, that's not Benzi. It's Novelli. Sorry, the cowboy hat threw me.
Yeah, Novelli finds Capello there. That's Capello's second break goal. doing it on the defensive side, finding herself open. But the Italian attack, when they get the disc back, is just so much quicker right now. If we are going to be thieves of joy and compare, then yeah, what Italy's doing when they get the disc back is just attacking, forward moving.
Yeah.
There's barely a negative meters throw in there. The resets are not necessary. They're looking upfield, isolating, and these defensive cutters are outrunning Sweden's O-line.
Yeah, they're setting up their cuts really nicely, and they also have a great connection between the handlers and the cutters. You see the handlers kind of dictating where they need the cutters to go, because as we know, handlers face one way and cutters face the other. Handlers can see the whole field, they can see where the space are, they can see when your defender's sagging off you, and that's a great opportunity. We often say in Frisbee that the teams suffer when there's a disconnect between the handlers and the cutters, but Italy showing a great example of being connected, one team. Sweden probably going to be a bit disappointed with that. That's Italy's third break. Score is 5-1 in this women's semi-final. Lots of time left on the clock. We know that Sweden have got it in them to push through and show some real dominance. Yet to see it, though, on this early Saturday morning game. Disc is up and the Swedes are off. Again, immediate zone look from Italy. I think they're almost doing a 3-1-2-1. That's what it kind of looks like. I wouldn't say it's almost matched downfield, because you see the number 7 shirt of Fabrini staying deep, but not quite match marked. Sweden getting into that doom swinging mentality of going sideways. Big inside fake, trying to get it through the middle, but just not there. Treppendal over the top. Anderson. Back to Treppendal. She finds a lovely eye through the middle, and there's the low, but just too low for Sachlin to pick up. Lily Adolfsson in the pink shades, great force. But Benzi just too good, over the top, beautiful to 12. And there is the goal, the assist from Stopper. Such a great receiver for this team. Benzi and Stopper seemingly have a connection where Benzi can put it up and Stopper will go and get it.
Yeah, Aikenhagen there had the low throw come towards her. Throw not perfect, but through the hands of Aikenhagen. And you see again the Italian D-line. They just strike back. As soon as it gets to Benzi, she's happy to even skip a player. Went right over the top of her closest swing to get it as far as possible to that sideline, beating any pursuit of the defense. And that next throw for goal made to be very, very easy. There you see Stoppa, Vittoria Stoppa, and she's on the board. 2 assists after receiving that one from Benzi and sending it for goal.
Yeah, you know Italy are out for blood today, because even after a really successful start of this game, they're not satisfied. I can see the coaches and the teams talking, like, even after a successful goal, how can we be better? How can we be even better? How could we have made that better? So they're constantly looking for opportunities to learn, and I don't think we're going to see Italy get comfortable.
I have a feeling you're right. I mean, they underperformed against France big time yesterday, and they are gearing up for that match. And let's see if a strong performance here will lead them into that. Yeah,
Sweden out on offense again. 6-1, hoping to make it 6-2. That's a better following their pass there. There is a free receiver on that sideline, but not taken. Backwards pass. Gesturing for that middle space, but again not taken. The Swedes just looking a little bit nervous. There isn't any wind, so I think they can be a little bit more expansive with the shape of their discs. But trying, moving it open side. McLean just looking a little bit oh, there's a great shot over the top. They're through the zone now. They've broken it down. Vilma Vestman in the middle receives that, goes back. Big blade over the top. There's space again on this sideline, but just not taking it. Lofgren to the numberless shirt. Lufgren. Great take. Sweden slowly chipping away. They're making more ground and looking a little bit more confident. You see how much space they can make when they just take a bigger shot to a free receiver. But again, just not the right option. Too fast, and Italy are on the run. To Amati. She gestures but doesn't get it. Goes open side. Fabrini. See her talking to the downfield. Up the line. Too far. And that is a D for the Swedes.
Yeah, the Italians bring it right in the zone. You said the Swedes are really working hard. The Lufgren turnover as this one goes up.
Oh, D again. That's a kind of aggressive shot that Sweden maybe need to take on more. Like the option, but a great D. Lita Fanita with the D, and there's another D back. Well earned from the Swedes there. They're trying to get it going, but all the cutters running past the disc, which is going to give an opportunity for Italy to set their zone. Big scuba. In the middle, Sweden looking more confident as the point goes on. Over the top. Free receiver. Oh, and just an unfortunate drop.
Oh, yeah, had to put 2 on that. They're fighting the sun a little bit. That's the other way today, but getting one hand on that, sure, reading the defense, feeling regular pressures, but I think getting the hands basket-shaped under that almost really could have increased the chances of hanging on.
And maybe a little bit spooked by the defender. Sometimes the noise of their footsteps can put you off, but Italy looking for another opportunity to break. Novelli doing an amazing isolation cut. You see her striking deep and then pushing all the way under. Fantastic leading pass there. Italy giving a textbook example. Oh, and great pickup. Questioning whether that's down. From our perspective, did look down.
Yeah.
You see a lot of fingers pointing at the floor and uncontested there. So, great bid, though, from Valerie.
Yeah, exceptional, but no two ways about it.
Oh,
but my perspective,
pickup.
holy moly.
I think Sweden didn't know who that was for, but Vilma Westman says, I'll take it. I'll have that one. Finds a free player. Low, almost cricket-esque catch there. Back to Westman. Looking quite static. Isolating the handler there, and it goes, and there's the disc going up. Vilma Westman on the chase, and there's the goal. 6-2 to Sweden. Probably the best point we've seen from the Swedes.
Yeah, for sure. They got some good fortune on the big gainer for it to slip through the hands of one and have a trailer to haul it in. But after that, they did really well, resetting, staying in the middle of the field. Adensmeyer got it in the hands of their strongest thrower here from Westman is the throw to Adensmeyer. She waits for the give and go, throw open side, go open side. There it is. And Westman collects from Adensmeyer and gets the second on the board, extends the first half, and making herself feel proud representing her country.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Sweden's confidence grow now. They've shown themselves that, hey, we can make those big scubas and we can do those big gainers and go over the zone rather than moving around the back. But Italy only 1 point away from that 7 point to take the half. See a tall line being put out by the Swedes. Only one set of wrap shades in Lily Adolfsson. The whistle has gone for the pull to go up, so we're underway. Swedes probably going to be really hoping for this first break opportunity now to stop Italy getting that all-important half-time. We see the disc is in. Rampazzo, there's the D, but a foul is being called by Fabrini.
What's your take on that originally? Do you have one?
I don't think it potentially was a foul. I think the disc was almost behind.
Yeah, I thought Fabrini reached into...
Yeah, I think potentially the Swedish defender there, not Lugren, I think had the line. I think was almost in front. but it is uncontested by Sweden, so Fabrini keeps the disc.
Yeah, I think I would have agreed with you that Fabrini reached into the space of the Swedish defender, but accepted foul.
Benzi ready to cook. Fakes the IO. Great up the line from Rampazzo. These Italian handlers just working really, really nicely together. Too far, unfortunately. Bit of a trip as that cutter was coming under. Nothing you can really do about that. I think Galvorti just stumbled. See a little limp, but hopefully they're all right. So Sweden have got an opportunity to break here, which would take the score to 6-3, which would just stop the Italians getting away from them. Sometimes you need a break under your belt to get that level of confidence to keep pushing, so hopefully we can see that. We've got the wrapped shades of Lily Adolfsson isolated, but almost taken away by Liljeqvist. Oh, and a drop, unfortunately, from Lily Adolfsson. Italy straight in. Big strike from Stopper, hoping to get her third break goal, and there it is.
Should we say it again?
You can't stop her. She's having a game.
Yeah, she certainly is. Benzi, of course, doing it as well there on the throwing end. The quick, non-hesitation, north-south attacking Italian counterattack. It just does it and does it and does it again. They are very, very efficient. And again, I think this is a case where they have too many matchups where they have the more athletic player.
Yeah.
And that's no slight against the Swedes. This is just an exceptionally athletic Italian side that are winning too many one-on-one matchups for Sweden to be able to collectively absorb it all.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But that is half-time. Score is 7-2 with Italy taking half. We're going to come back in a quick minute. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll join you into the second half of this women's semi-final.
Get there. Yes, he will.
Welcome back. I have got a mouthful of bread. I'm really sorry. Felix gave us a very quick countdown. But we're back in the Eurodisc arena at this women's semi-final. Italy 7-2 up over the Swedish side. A dominant first performance from from Italy. Sweden looking a little bit yet to wake up. But we saw Sweden be dominant yesterday, so hoping for a slightly more intense second half. But credit where credit's due, Italy are just looking strong. You can tell they want to be in that final, fighting for that all-important gold medal match. Steph, now you've swallowed your bread. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really good. I mean, this Italian team has been very, very good. Their worst game was against the French, and it might be the best thing for them and perhaps for the tournament. I think the French are you know, maybe not as far ahead of Italy as Italy is of Sweden, let's say, but
Yeah.
but they are on paper the best team, and I think getting beaten badly earlier in the tournament is the best thing for them. And I think their response here right now is a great show of how ready they really are hoping to be for that France match and to put their best foot forward. They cannot look to that yet. I know they're preparing for the second half without getting ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
But if we see a version of Italy more like this against the French later today, if that's the way things go, I think we're going to get a much tighter final. These Italians are getting stronger and stronger as they go.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We saw the Italian coaches yesterday having a quiet word with the Italy team saying, like, come on, I think we can do better. And I think you can see that in Italy. They want it today. But the disc is up. Sweden with the advantage initially, coming out of half, being given the O because they started on defence. We would have flipped a coin or flipped a disc for the sides, and Sweden obviously chose. Well, they probably didn't choose offence. They probably lost the toss, which gave Italy the offence. But Sweden out on half and Italian zone. Again, we're seeing that ever so common swinging the disc, and there's the high one. Italy are doing some good tight match marking downfield, a little bit more different, a little bit tighter, because I think they've recognised that Sweden were finding those over the top opportunities. So we see the three handlers working together, but a little scuba to Emma Hagby, and she goes back. Handlers still swinging it, struggling to find those downfield players. You see Peterson working so hard to trying to get free, but not successful. Would like to see the cutters try and stretch it deep, I think. Can see the handlers looking really kind of static. But a D almost straight into the hands of the receiver, unfortunately. Charlotte Festa puts a big one out. And there's a third break goal for Capello.
Capello with the hat on. Third break goal. Just going for that end zone, I would say end zone Malone. Every time they get the disc back, she is finding a scoring cut. That time, Chiara Festa faked looking at the unders and said, hey, right, Capello's doing her thing. I'm going to respect that. Puts a nice throw. You said you would like to see some deeper cuts out of the Swedes there. I think that's great assessment. The Italians are getting really comfortable playing the unders.
Yeah.
They're not getting stretched deep. They're not getting pushed out of position and therefore not getting punished for taking aggressive inside defensive position.
Yeah,
The
couldn't agree with
Swedes
you more.
could really stand. Well, I'm agreeing with you, so of course you're agreeing back.
We're just so agreeable. We're so agreeable.
But you know, stretch that field, make a move, make it. I mean, north-south is the best, but let's trade some positions. Let's go north-south, come back on the sideline, leave some bigger gaps in the middle,
Yeah.
make that defensive position guess a little bit more. Even if we are saying like, okay, there's a few more athletically amicable matchups for the Italians. Okay, how do we beat that? Like a little bit of confusion, and let's run them as much as we can. They got to chase you, no matter how good they are as athletes. They still got to chase you when you're on O.
Absolutely, and we see a second pass turnover, but a first pass turnover for Italy. So Sweden get the opportunity back. They're wanting to push it through. Bodin, great pickup. Looking inside, got it. Treppendal. Great down the line look there. Confident, utilising the fact there's no wind. There's the line strike, doesn't get it. Looking backfield, little step from Bodin, that's fantastic. Put her Italian defender in the wash cycle.
Yeah,
went backfield, then straight down the line with aggression.
Yeah, loved that upline cut, and I love the little, stutter step, spin step, pivot step, if you will, before she chose to go up line. But and this is exactly what it is. Like, sure, you've got these great athletic Italian defenders, but you dictate where they go. They have to react to you. So even if they're faster, they don't know where you're going. You always have that advantage. You have to move more. It feels it may feel defeating if it's like, I'm going to try and outrun a runner. How's that going to work? Well, that's the only way, because if you try to outstand a runner, well, then as soon as it goes up, their reaction is going to beat you to the disc every time. So that finishing cut by Baudin is what the Swedes need to do in the small spaces. Then we want to see them do it in the big spaces as well. When they've got a whole field and they're coming off a pull, I want to see some creative and some consistently active. Let's watch this one again. Cuts. Let's come backwards. Okay, now engaged. There it is.
That's fantastic.
It's like a chicane.
Attacks the inside shoulder of the Italian defender, which means they have to make a decision as to whether they're protecting the dump or protecting the line. She chose to protect the dump, and Sweden went, okay, I'll go down the line. Yeah, I think a point about playing your game. I think Sweden might be falling into the trap a little bit of the downfield receivers when they're in this hybrid look. Getting a bit scared. They're almost doing a line dance of kind of not moving further than their 2-meter box of cuts. You could do a flood play to isolate a player. We could have 3 players pushing deep and 1 player slashing from that far side under. There is no wind, and if one person just uses their legs, I think they're probably going to be benefited massively and rewarded. But we see the Italian O-line out again. We see Benzi being rested, potentially Italy feeling comfortable. Through the middle, Novelli now, similar hat to Benzi. Back to Almaty. Almaty with the disc. Over to the far side, Ghiatta. Into the middle for Novelli. Ooh, close defense. Still sticking in this zone are Sweden. Amati with the disc over the top. Too far? No, sits perfectly. Benzi, wow, what a goal, what a reception. That's a fantastic layout score by Novelli.
Yeah, the hat got you again.
I said Benzi again.
I think the hat got you, but Novelli indeed chucks the body. I almost thought there was a bit of a ground strip. She was pushing it into her chest there, but definitely did maintain possession. Italians counter-striking again, aggressively pushing it up the line. I liked Chiara Festa's saving catch in the middle of that point, a couple before this one, but with a closing defender. And look at that leading throw.
That's
it
beautiful.
Is just a thing of beauty. No chance for the defender. Novelli may have been able to run into it and get a shoelace catch, but just being sure to be sure to be sure. I'm going to chuck my body here. That's what we do around here. That's how we play, and puts the body out.
It's a great time to do it, to get yourself on the highlight reel. Sometimes a little secured layout, often the best catches.
Yeah.
Makes yourself look cool. Italy coming out on defense, and we see Benzi is now out on the D line. So double cowboy hats happening, throwing me off, but this is Benzi with the pull. Sweden shooting down towards the left-hand side of Steph and I on their offensive hopes to make it 9-4.
Benzi's just giving up the pull. It's going to be a zone.
Yeah.
And Fabri will be at the back of that zone.
Balled in with the disc, looking immediately for Trachmendal. Goes over the top. That's the kind of throws you want to be seeing. And there's one, touched it, but well done with their feet. Down the line immediately. Sweden pointing, I'm free. Balled in, great reception, great snag. Faking, back to Bodin. Trappendal, back to Bodin. Bodin doing a great job here. Faking the big flick, but yet to get it. Trappendal. Back to, can't quite see the number. Or is that numberless?
That's right. Löfgren.
It's going to get me every time.
Especially because the ponytail's there, too. So you're waiting for the, is it a number 1? Is it a 7?
Yeah. Big fake. Bodin is free. Receives it. Is there breakside continuation? There is. And again, no points for their IO. Back to Bodin. Great attacking backfield there from Treppendal. Benzi's sniffing. She's wanting it. Big force. I think we've seen a match melt now, so Italy are in match defense. Bodin says, no, I'll go down the line there, and there's the goal. The Sweden hold. Sweden looking good after they've come out, after Italy melted. So if they can get down the pitch and force the Italy team to melt out of that zone, I think that they can. I think they can hang with them.
Yeah, for sure. They're much better in the second half. Löfgren there, a wonderful job of distribution, very magnanimous throughout all of her receivers, going multiple touches and keeping that possession moving despite the fact we couldn't see what number was on her back. But right to the end there, love the assist, a little outside in, waiting for a similar up line from Baudin as the last score that Sweden had. And, you know, you're starting to feel the heartbeat. Now they're a ways behind. It's an elimination game. This is a game you play to the bitter end. You throw the kitchen sink at them. We've discussed as much throughout this tournament. We discuss it through a majority of the tournaments we play. But it's great to see a second half pulse coming out of the Swedes here, and they're starting to put their offensive possessions together.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Hopefully Sweden are fired up now. So Italy out on offense. The cowboy hat of Novelli. Note for myself that it is not Benzi, it is Novelli.
And again, those are the under 20 prizes. So these that definitely means Novelli and Benzi were on these under 20 teams last year as well. So that's how good they are.
Yeah, playing a division up way before their age. Swinging to the open side. Quite a flat zone from Sweden, kind of allowing them, shepherding almost the Italy handlers to go round, but Italy finding it pretty easy. And there's a big scuba. Is it too much? It's not. Oh, it is.
Too much shape on it. It was the perfect throw, really.
Yeah.
Capello, maybe not perfect, because Capello did have to do a little bit of a pirouette to try and spot that and read that.
Yeah.
But it did land on the spot.
I think over the top of the head of Capello makes it a little bit harder. You lose sight of it, and you've almost got to trust your hands to collect it in the breadbasket. You see a couple of deep strikes from Sweden, but no success. Io through the middle. Great
Beautiful
hands. Big disc now. Adjusted, but what a D! Cabrini with the run through says, no. I'd like to play offense. That's what I'm here for. Disc is now in with Chiara Festa. High one. Great hands. Vita Finita. Looking static. Back to Amati. Back to Festa. Through the middle. Easy find. Again.
Nice hands.
Great grab from Novelli. She puts one up. 2-on-2 in the downfield and snaffled away. Sweden now looking for that all-important break to try and keep this game alive. Looking a bit static. We see a couple of deep looks, but nothing coming. Eckenhagen says, I'll have that one. Flugren with the disc, big fakes. Not a lot happening. Lily's coming under, but doesn't get it. Static in the Swedish stack. High one, that's beautiful. Really capitalizing on the face mark. Disc going deep. Vilma Westman is there, and she doesn't get it.
No, it's like we said, they're starting to click. Everything's kind of coming up sweet in the last frame, and including that throw, the receiving end. That's the third they've been unable to handle in the end zone without super tight defense against. Of course, the defense is there. The footsteps are there. Those things are coming, but the Swedes have got to get those hands working when it counts most in the end zone.
Yeah, I want to credit Sweden there for being able to capitalize on the face marks. Italy really pushing them deep, and Sweden just able to throw over the top. We see a little bit of a bobble, but collected well. Westman on the force. Down the line to Novelli. She puts another big one up. Is it going to be another Sweden D? It is. Sweden looking good protecting these deep strikes. Can they get a deep strike themselves? Over to Adolfsson in the pink shades. Great find. Back into the middle. Threatening to do that huck, but not there. Asking for something. Nothing's coming, looking a bit stressed. She's pushing the defender away, maybe a disc space. Fast count was called.
I
think
agree with that. Capella was getting louder and faster. It was as she went.
Great. Look, and there it is, Sweden break. And well deserved. Pettersson waiting into that deep space. A tall receiver, and they find her.
How sweet it is to get that one over the top.
Hey,
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub.
here all day.
But a beautiful, both of those shows were nice. I actually appreciated more the get out of jail card, the get out of jail throw, the hockey assist, if you will, after making the fast count call. I think it's very, it shows a great presence of mind. There it is, that throw there. Hadagaby, the daughter of Coach, and well, I mean, both parents are exceptional players. The Don Filipowski and his wife Barb Hadagaby, but two of them incredible players. It's obviously passed down a generation.
For sure.
Great presence of mind to recognize that count was just going too quick. Stop before you have to contest a fast count.
Yeah.
Stall, hey, fast count in the midst of it. And then, as soon as she was back on, she scanned the field through that wicked arcing blade.
Yeah.
And that opened things up for another great throw, that high release backhand over everybody.
Yeah, I can see that Sweden maybe play a lot of indoors because they are really good at capitalizing on an underforce. They're just able to throw the disc into space. I want to see more of it. Let's try and hope that they can bring this game closer. They have got their first break of the game, and a truly well-deserved one. But Italy are in now. We see Benzi back on the field. Sweden coming out in this zone again, which does feel a shame, but it's worked. An overthrow from Benzi. Lorino just couldn't bring it down.
Big opportunity for Sweden here.
Italy are in a match set with Benzi sitting off. So one Sweden player would be poached down the line.
And there she goes.
Peppendal puts one up, and there's the break.
Out is
and
called.
Out is being called. Strong points.
And she accepts it. It remains 9-5.
Let's take a look back to see if it was out. Ooh. In my mind, that's not a confident out, but it's what the players decide, and they've called it. So Italy are off to the races now, pushing the disc upfield. Got about half pitch without really much effort. Lorino over to Benzi. Benzi pushes it upfield to Rampazzo. Back to Lorino, looking for this goal. Backfield, again, the coach stood right in my way. Open side. Stopper, faking. Back to Benzi. Too high maybe, but no, well handled. And there is the goal. And that is an Italy hold, and that's one opportunity for Sweden taken away. Potentially they were a bit hard done by having that out call. It's really difficult in the moment to call a correct one. From my perspective, it was in, but we can't see the line fully.
Yeah, we may get a chance to see it again just to appease to our curiosities, but in any sense, the Italians go right back the other way. Benzi doing what she does best, getting that stat on the board. 10-5 now is the score. All said, the Swedes showing signs of life, getting better and better. I think, I didn't really get good enough of a look at even the replay. I was still focused out, eyes on the field, what was happening live. Didn't realize our replays were coming in that quickly, though I should know better.
We're too good.
Yeah, and it's a tough one if it was, but I still think Sweden are on the up and up and have plenty to play for, just pushing forward.
Yeah, we're looking. Sweden have scored 5 points. They scored 5 points, honestly, the first time, so they'll probably be hoping at this point to maybe be either bringing the game closer, hoping to get it back to a universe point. It's a long way to go. Or maybe just building on their performance of the previous time in the tournament and hoping that they're able to get more scores on them.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you don't got it, but it's nice to break the game into smaller games. And let's win the next game to 3. Let's get to win the game from here to the end of the game. Whether you actually win the game or not, it gives you breaks it down and makes it easier for you to play to perform.
Big over the top. Oh, it's low. Just a misexecution on the throw.
Yeah, Hadouи knew it came out of her hand improperly as soon as it did. It was the right sight, it was the right choice, and unfortunately the execution failed her upon release.
Yeah, I think this Swedish team, they know where to put it, they know the right thing to do, but it may be just not happening today. But Italy hoping for another break. Almaty on the disc, faking Io. Got it, get it. Romeo, first time I've had that name in a while. Festa. Down to Amati. Amati's having a brilliant performance, seemingly all over the field. Is it a D? Oh, it's not, unfortunately. That's an Italian goal, but what a score from that Italian receiver. Just want to shout out the number 24 shirt of Arenminer. I think they've got 2 Ds in the deep space and a very, very close third attempt there, but Italy coming down with it.
I think that was the number 8 shirt, Valérie, who came down with the goal. Amati, as you said, is firing on all cylinders as well and has been throughout the tournament. I think 14 points by Mertia Amati before this game.
Wowza.
Pretty well distributed, doing a bit of both, 6 assists, 8 goals, and now adding to that in this game with a handful, or another pair rather, of goals here. So Amati, and then we're going to dial up an assist there too. Sorry, 2 assists rather, not goals. So Amati is continuing to add to her team's success. Has been a standout thus far. They're going to need her to keep performing right to the end here. They're 2 away from a seat in the final, as you see Coach Barbara Bondi continue to speak as a stereotypical Italian with a lot of hand and body gesturing.
Pull goes up. Lovely pull. Using that outside in shape. Interesting pull catch by the Swedish. There, with 2 hands open like a crab rather than doing the old classic pancake. Swinging round to Treppendal. Clearly a big handler on this team. Finding the open space, back to Treppendal. Impressed with this movement so far. Utilising the swing, and then a downfield continuation. Is it too high? A stumble? It is too high, unfortunately. Thinking about the layout, but doesn't quite get it. Gata on the sideline, bit stuck.
Yeah, really looked off the dump there.
Finds it. Fabrini over to... Oh, no, that's Fabrini. Number confusion. Rampazzo, another big player on this team, doing a lot. Beautiful shot. Is it there? It's not. Threading the needle herself, but too many threads. Bodin with the disc downfield. Great catch by Charlene. Liljeqvist looks backfield, dump and swing. Missed opportunity there, I think. Bodin. Treppendal. Not given to Adolfsson. Low throw. It's been called down.
I think that's the right call.
I think that's the right call. I think the back end of that disc did touch the ground before she had hands under it, and the Swedish, she knows. So Italy off to the races. 45 striking deep. It goes up. Fabrini gets it. Doesn't call a foul. Good pressure from the Swedes, and they're in. Italy in a zone set almost. Bit of confusion perhaps.
Nice
Bodin.
sticky hands there by Baudin.
I'd like to see Sweden just try and look infield more. I think there's a lack of recollection that they are in a zone set, and the opportunity is to go laterally and then fit a continuation, but they found it. Adolfsson there. Looking a bit lost. Finds Adolfsson, great hands. Fakes the big one, doesn't get it. Back to Baudin. Adolfsson trying to go to work. Potentially could be isolated, but no. Baudin points, and there's the utilisation of that face mark again. That's brilliant. Adolfsson goes, doesn't receive it. Baudin doing a lot for this Swedish side. Down the line strike as we know them, and there is the goal for Sweden, and well deserved to come out to go from zone to match and be able to keep their composure. Great showing. It's 11-6. They've scored more points than they scored on them earlier in the tournament now.
Yeah, congratulations for doing as much. They've got much better in the second half of this game as well. They're 4 goals in the second half. So our halftime score was 7-2. It's 4-4 in the second half. They are trading. They've got 1 break apiece as well, but basically trading in the second half. After going down 6-2, that's got to be, or 7-2, that's a nice feeling. It's not enough to say, hey, we got these guys. But it is enough to say, hey, okay, this is us. This is how we can play. This is how we're going to finish this tournament. This is what we're going to carry into the bronze medal game. Though that, not quite in their head yet.
Not yet.
But that is, it's a nice sign for them moving forward.
Well, every game you play should be an opportunity to build on what you know. So, like we just said, Sweden's tournament, if they end up not being successful, they ought to go again. And they're going to want that medal. So they should be thinking, we're doing well here. What are we doing well? What can we do better? Implementing it now and then carrying it through to that bronze medal match later today. Italy being a little bit slow to receive the pull. The hand is up from Sweden. Big run up and the pull goes up. Showing the belly to the wind, which is giving it a little bit of sit, and it lands trailing away from the Italian receiver, which gives Sweden the opportunity to set up their zone. But as we know, this Italian side all too confident. Back to Amati, fakes it, goes round to Amati, too high. Just a kind of lack of composure there with that catch. Could have secured it with 2 hands, but thought no, one's enough, and it just wasn't. Up the line. Backfield. Hugby doing a great job. Looking for the dump, disconnection, opening for the IO, goes open side instead. Great pickup. Argren. Decisive undercut there from Vilma Westman, and there's the, and just too much shape. Too bladey, almost not high enough, goes at the ankles of the receiver and is unsuccessful. Italy now back on offense, hoping to secure their 12th point of this game.
The other semi-final has concluded.
Oh, tell me more.
The French have made quick work of Belgium 13-3.
Goodness me. Well, Sweden putting up a better performance against the Italian in this semi. Still plenty of time to bring it closer. Italy stuck, but who else but Amati? Great shot to Novelli. Another fantastic leading throw to Fabrini. Over to Festa, and just an easy little dish for the hold for Italy, taking it to 12-6.
Yeah, they went from one end to the other there in probably, how many was it? In 7 passes. No stall count reached more than 3, I would gather. Everything was well-sighted, great vision, eyes up, looking upfield immediately after the catch. That was just a great show of how to move the disc from your goal line into the others. And again, this is where they should be at their sharpest right now. Potentially 1 point a game from the big rematch that they will have their eyes on. They will have had for a long time, and especially since their last match where they underperformed against France. Now they want to sharpen up, and that was maybe the best single possession we've seen of them, especially from a attacking, a dirty hold. Like after having given one up on a weakish error, to get it back and then just say, okay, boom, let's do it right this time. It was nice.
Yeah, I agree. Benzi with the pull. Sweden a little bit scared to catch it. Bodan says, ooh, I'm just going to let that one go to the floor. Italy just coming out of a match. I said yesterday Sweden did simple well, so let's see them flex their muscles. There's the simple IO throw. Lovely to Adolfsson. Great reception. Really watched it into her hands to make sure she secured that catch. I think there's a bit of a disconnect from the handlers downfield, but they find an out. They're doing 3 at the back as if Italy are doing a zone, but they are just doing a vert stat downfield, so almost doing a 3-4 rather than your conventional 2-6. But they've found it. They're 2 back now. Single hand grab. Need Treppendal to push up to make space. That's exactly what she does for Achtenbeiner. Bit of a slash cut from Baudin. Not too sure what this Swedish setup is. They're doing a lot of slash cuts, and I think just a little bit messy. Some people thinking it was a zone, some people thinking it was match. That's a real shame. Italy could take the game here. Oh, fantastic double layout bid from Stopper and Benzi, but neither of them coming down with it. Sweden again with another chance to stop this game going, and there's the big deep shot. What a fantastic cross-field throw. That is brilliant work.
Absolutely incredible. You saw Benzi a little bit out of position, asking Rampazzo to cover for her and switch over to the attacker running down the far seam. As soon as that happened, she spotted the open receiver. Beautiful outside in backhand, exposed Benzi's pass off of her defense, and you see Benzi's in a tough way right now before a final.
Yeah, Benzi potentially, I'm assuming, has had a layout earlier in the tournament and has taken some skin off that knee. I think when it hits it, if you've ever had a layout scab, it is sore, especially when you play on this turf. We see her going to ground there, and I think potentially just taking a lot of pain out. She looks okay, but we did see her knee taped yesterday. Not so much support, but more padding. She got the 3/4 length on today in the hope to try and protect that knee, but looking a bit sore.
Yeah, Adensmeier was the Benzi assignment I was speaking of. Left open, who ends up catching that goal. And she's straight back out there to pull. 7 on the board now. 2 better than their last hit out with the Italians. So.
And they should be proud of that.
Yes.
They should be proud of that. Italy have got a chance to put this game to bed. Armati said her name a lot. Ooh, that's fantastic pressure from Vestman. But Armati says, I'll just go the other way. Over the top. Too much. A bid from Valeri, but not enough. She puts the force on. Fantastic up the line. Continuation is there, but doesn't want it. Looking inside, receives it, Treppendal. Back. Oh, sorry, that was Luchben. Energetic force, doing some star jumps there by the Italy defender. Putting off that downfield option. Close. Hagby. Big shot. That's the kind of inside opportunities we're looking for, and they've taken it. It's going. And that's the 4th time that they've dropped that in that end zone. That's Vilma Vestman again with the turnover.
Yeah, tough one to take, especially as that count mounts.
I think this Swedish team not as confident as going to ground. We see some opportunities where they're bending over, but Italy say get a bit fast and they take it to the turnover. Sweden back on offense now. Open side, fantastic find. Hagby dishes. Open side again. 2 defenders peel off to stop that throw, and it just doesn't go. Sweden turnover. Almaty hoping to put this game to bed. Rocking, swaying, asking for an option. It's not coming. Finds it. Capello. 2 or 3 goals to her name. Big swing, too high. Sweden again, an opportunity to break and stop this game going. Sweden defenders flood through, not many options coming. Looking frustrated, and rightly so. Line slash. No continuation. But the under, and just a drop. I think Sweden potentially just fatigued, perhaps. Not quite clicking.
They're not seeing it the whole way in, and Italy now with a chance. Seal this
big
finals
force.
berth.
Io inside. Valeri. Fantastic step from Amati, having a real good game. She fakes the Io. She goes back to Valeri. She goes over. Back to Almaty, hoping to secure this game. Beautiful player, but just too much. You see Almaty step into that backhand and really send it out wide. I think she could have stayed static and just high released that. No wind here today. You don't need to really put much on your throws for them to sit. Sweden trapped on the sideline and a timeout is called.
Timeout.
Not many timeouts happening in this game.
No, there's been very few. And now just pushing towards the 70th minute, Sweden will say, all right, you're going to give us chances. We'll extend this game a little further. We're going to take a break and think about it, but we're going to keep going here.
Yeah, Sweden and Italy combined, there's 27 total passes, but as they have a timeout, we will have a little timeout too, and we'll join you back shortly.
Get there. Yes, he will.
The lovely did. Hello and welcome back. We're in the Eurodisc Arena at the European Youth Ultimate Championships. Just had a timeout. Italy up 12-7 over Sweden in the semi-final. Games are to 13. Just about 8 minutes left on the clock. 9.5 if you're counting. Sweden hoping to stop Italy's run to the final, but we have got Sweden calling a timeout after 27 total passes. So Italy on D when they should be on O.
Slow to set up here using the entirety of the timeout.
And as they should. The temperature is rising. I think the average temperature they give it today here in Ghent is 28 degrees, which for young bodies potentially too hot, but they will be given allocated time if the temperature does rise above a level that is deemed appropriate. Not a cloud in the sky, which for me as a little lizard, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I love a sunny day. And this is like, just, I suspect the midday heat is going to be hot if it stays clear like this. But this is perfect playing conditions.
Yeah,
no
not a lick
clouds,
of wind.
no wind, not too hot, but nice and hot.
Yeah.
This is ideal for these youngsters.
Yeah, and we've got a lot more streams coming today. Maybe even 5 more. 4 more definitely.
5 more.
5 more. So we'll be here all day, hoping for some excellent games and hoping to see more players capitalise on these perfect playing conditions. But hoping to capitalise right now is Sweden. We see just a match look, and I'm really interested by this 3-4 vert stack by the Swedes. I would deem that unorthodox, but they go up the line. What a throw. Italy forcing out, so forcing towards us, and to be able to find that and throw that with accuracy was amazing. There's the utilisation of the under face mark. Sweden looking confident off this timeout. Sip of water and some sweets, and they are on the run. That is gorgeous. Really impressed with Sweden. Emma Hagby throws it middle. Italy are chasing, but they don't get it. Trappendal over the top. Italy now almost forcing middle. Not sure if that's the wrong force or the change, but now they're forcing the other way, so they're forcing backhand. Hagby looking for an option, goes round. So it is an FM, a forced middle. They're now forcing towards us, so forcing flick. Downfield not adjusting. Hagby goes, let's give and go. Back into this 3-4 vert look, which potentially could be stifling downfield flow. Bit lost, but finds it. There's the indoors we were talking about. Big flick. Is it going to be a goal? There it is. That is the Sweden break to take it 8-12. That's fantastic from Sweden.
Yeah, the hammer sets that up. Arnsmaya doing her thing. Another stat on the board for the Swedish stat leader. Finding the end zone. Was it Liljekist?
Yeah.
In the end zone there. I love that Sweden took that timeout, worked their way down the field. You mentioned it when it happened. There was a great swing pass by Hargavy over to Arnsmeier again in the midst of this, the one that set that up, sets the hammer up. Hammer to Arnsmeier, and look at that finish. What a platter put for the goal. Sweden.
Fantastic grab as well.
Yeah. Great hook the thumb as it was passing the face. Let the hand speed catch up to the disc speed.
Yeah, so Sweden have got an opportunity here, even if they're not necessarily being given the game on a plate. They've got an opportunity to rattle Italy's cage. Italy have got to go on and potentially play the final. So does Sweden. The game is not over until it's over. But Sweden being given an opportunity here, and a well-earned opportunity to kind of make the Italians feel nervous. Getting broken when you're 1 point away from winning is awful.
Yeah, and this is when, if they can do it again, this is when Italy's been so good in this game up until like this very, very late point where they would be carrying confidence into the final. Now that confidence will be tarnished just a touch if they can't put the finishing touches on.
We see Benzi back on the field, and there's the second cowboy hat of Novelli hoping to work together. Cowboy connection over to Rampazzo. Lovely open swing side. We've got Fabri back to Benzi. Over to Rampazzo. That is a great shot there to Gelata. And there is the goal, but being called out. So Novelli has to get it round. Sweden still staying in this zone look, saying you will not score on the open side. We've got a player on the floor.
That's Benzi. She's hit the deck there.
Did she trip over the line?
She ran into her own player and called a foul. That is not allowed.
Oh, injury.
It's an injury. Okay, that's allowed.
Benzi's knee obviously playing havoc. Hopefully she's okay for the rest of the tournament. Open side, backside swing. Chiara Festa. In this zone, big one goes up. Who's there? It's nobody but Lorino. Had a fantastic game, and that is Italy taking the win 13-8 over Sweden.
Chiara Festa sends up the big arcing backhand. Happy to take the role of the final distributor as Benzi had to limp off the field there. Laurino goes up, takes it high with friendly fire coming. I think it's Matilde. It could have been a Festa to Festa there. No, that would have been Stoppa. Sorry.
Stoppa.
And Stoppa and
Stoppa
Laurino.
wants the goal.
Both would have had that. It goes to Laurino. The Italians do only let it extend one extra with that late break against. But great showing by the Swedes there. Lose by 5 after losing by 8 earlier in the tournament. That is a sound improvement. And here is a look at the match stats. Anything that jumps off the page for you, Derbs.
Well, want to shout out Force Ultimate for giving us our stats, so thanks so much to them. But looking at that, it's not as starkly different as I thought. Sweden had 10 break chances, Italy with 14, but you can see the breaks 6-2. It doesn't seem like a lot when you look at it initially, but in a game of Frisbee, it is a lot, especially when the game is to 13. Turnovers almost the same. I think potentially Italy got more turns on Sweden through hard defense, and Italy maybe forced their own turns, so Italy probably hoping to neaten that up for the final, because we know this French are ferocious side.
And so we love that game so much. We're going to do the exact same thing once again for you. Sweden, Italy coming up next. What?
Gasp.
We're going to change divisions for that one. We're going to be the open division. The Swedes, the number 1 seed, will be, or number 2 seed, sorry, will be taking on Italy, the number 3 seed. That game is promising to be a banger for a spot in the final. I can conclude the French made their way through on the other side, and they will be taking on these Italians in the final later today. More action as well. The mixed bronze medal after this semi, and then the mixed final after a break. Don't you go anywhere. Stay locked on here with EUF and this Alti TV production.
Thanks for joining us. I've been Amelia Durbin, and this is Steph Rapazzo, and we're signing off until the next game. See you shortly.